if you want to support the show, any of the shows, either this or whichever show, I'm not on right now because this is just a blanket ad for all of them, and the website, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com. In the description for any of the episodes of Beware of Spoilers, there is the option to donate. If you don't want to donate that way, you can donate directly through the website. We do have that, mwpnews.com. And if you don't want to support that way, then going to mwpnews.com will help out because we have ads there. We don't want to keep it, where there's a lot of ads. There's a few ads. But the point is we want to make it so that way, we can sustain this for the long term. If people donate, we're never going to paywall anything, I don't think, as of right now. But if people, start donating, we'll start doing cooler and cooler stuff. Like donations are how we get to cover stuff like Tribeca and other, film festivals. And, we may be able to bring on more people to help out. So if you want to help out the show and you want more content from us, by all means, even just going and giving us a 5-star rating on Spotify helps out a lot. But that's it. That's the only ad we'll have on the podcast ever. But here's whatever podcast you're going to be listening to. Good afternoon, and welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam. Sorry if I don't seem quite as high energy as normal, which is not a ton of energy. I'm just not feeling great. I've been sick for about 3 weeks now, which kind of why I've been kind of light on episodes lately. I went to the doctor today. I have a sinus infection. So, yeah. I picked up my prescription, and now I'm driving back. So I will record the episode now that should have gone up this morning that I didn't do yesterday because I felt like absolute dog shit yesterday. But here we are. My face is really swollen as well, which doesn't help things. Like, painfully so. But here we are, and I'm going to talk about Beetlejuice, which I don't remember if I watched this movie or not before. If I did, it would have been close to a decade, because I want to say we did it early on in the run of 30-minute reviews. We talked about Beetlejuice. Within that first 18 months, I think we talked about it. Maybe it was a Halloween episode. Maybe we said we were going to and we didn't. But as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, I don't remember a good amount of this, so it's entirely possible that I have never watched it. But, I think the thing about it is I think it ages remarkably well for what it is, and they do a great job of using Michael Keaton to just the right degree, because he's a character where if you are forced to deal with him constantly the entire way through the movie, he would get annoying very quickly. But they kind of use him sporadically enough that as the movie goes on, you don't quite feel like he is overstaying his welcome at any point. And it allows just enough time for his antics to have the maximum impact. And I think, too, part of the success of the movie is they don't sit here and explain things to you. Like, I don't need the backstory of Beetlejuice. I don't need to know where he came from. I don't need to know what he is, where he is, how he is, anything like that. He's just a being of chaos. And to that end, he's just there to fuck up people's day. Like, he's a bioexorcist there to get humans out of your house if you're a ghost and you're stuck in a house. Like, and it is a really interesting way of doing that. I think, too, it's like Michael Keaton's comedic chops. Like, we talk a lot about him in like Batman, what we've talked about a lot here, like Batman 89 and Batman Returns, and in this movie, he's just leading into the comedic persona, the Mr. Mom, the Johnny Dangerously, the
like that kind of, you know, comedic role, and I feel like a lot of it is just kind of improv, and that works for what they're doing. The stop motion stuff all looks great. I think the parts where they, you know, like if there's anything that ages kind of poorly, it's when they go into, like, I'm gonna call it Arrakis, where it's like the desert with the sandworms. Like, that's the part where it's like, this doesn't look all that great. And I think that's also where you get the implication that Beetlejuice is something a little bit more ancient than the rest of the ghosts, where it's like you have all the other ghosts. Like, if you kill yourself, you end up being a civil servant. It's it's a great little throwaway. But then when you look back at the scene where they meet all the civil servants, it's all people who have died by suicide, and that's all really great for what they're, you know, for that kind of world building. But the caseworker that they have says, oh, he was, you know, he worked for me, and then he struck out on his own freelance. And it's like, yeah, but I feel like he predates that, especially like when you look at the worms and all of that, and the worms are colored kind of the same way as him. But I think it's all handled very well. I am kind of interested in the sequel now, in a way. Like, I kind of, like, you know, was introduced to it through, like, the idea of this movie. Like, I'm familiar with kind of like the background radiation. I don't like to say his name 3 times, you know, all that kind of stuff. Keep in mind, the movie came out in 88. I wouldn't be born for another 6 years, so it kind of does predate me. And the whole thing with, you know, I don't think we necessarily need a sequel to see where these characters are later, but maybe it'll surprise me. I am interested because I don't think Alec Baldwin and Geena Davis are in the movie, which feels like it'd be an oddity. And I get why. It's because you can't really have ghosts age. Like ghosts can't exactly age, I don't think, and that would present a bit of an issue. Because it would be weird if the ghosts could age. I don't think you want to spend, like, what you end up with if you do that, you have to CGI de-age both of them for a good amount of time. I don't know if you want to do that, because like we've seen before, and we're going to talk about it next week, or this coming weekend with Peter, Alien Romulus, the de-aging technology never quite looks as good as you think it does. And it's like, it just ends up being distracting. Like, I know this guy doesn't look like this now, or is dead. So it's just kind of odd. What else have we got with this? Yeah, I think that I like the way they characterize Winona Ryder too. I think her character is pretty well laid out, and I think too, when I watch the trailer, I'm like, it feels like a cash grab. Like the first trailer that I've seen a million times with, you know, with like Jenna Ortega riding her bike through the town, and then it's like you get to, you know, him coming out of the model in the attic. Like it just kind of feels like, I don't want to say it feels cash grabby, but it feels like they dragged Michael Keaton into this. And it's like, do I have to? Like, what contractual obligation is he under to do this? Because he doesn't seem enthusiastic. But we'll see. I'm optimistic now, because I'm thinking that, like, I don't think that Tim Burton and everyone involved would have come back. I don't think that they, like, Warner Brothers is throwing money at this in the way they throw money at their other stuff, to the point where it's like, we're gonna, you know, people are coming in because they want money. Like, I don't think Catherine O'Hara is getting paid 8 figures to come back and play this. That would be outlandish, I think. Like, and the same goes for, like, Winona Ryder, and maybe Michael Keaton's pulling $10 million. Maybe Michael Keaton's pulling that. But besides that, I don't think anyone's coming into this or going into this to get rich. And I'll be interested to see where this kind of goes and how this all kind of works for what this movie is. But yeah, we'll see. Well, I think the way they're going to explain it is probably like they went away, and like this is her first time coming back to the house, and when she's like the original, like, Alec Baldwin and Geena Davis are no longer there. Just because, like, that was the repercussion of, like, reneging on the deal. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But we'll see. We'll see how they play out there. Yeah, I'm very tired. I don't have a ton more to say on this. It's very well done, and I think looking at it back through 2024, looking back to 1988, it does age very well, except for the CGI stuff. The production design's all really good. I love Danny Elfman's score in this movie, and I think it's a really unique concept. And the way they play with the idea of what the afterlife is and all of that is all really interesting. And I think that it's good they explore these kind of things in this movie. Yeah, so we'll be talking about it on Wednesday. Beetlejuice over on Beware of Spoilers. Over on Beware of Spoilers, if you were expecting to hear Rings of Power talk, that was planned last week, but I couldn't get the app to work. Like, the Amazon Prime app would not play video. It would play audio, but it would not play video. It was bizarre, so I couldn't watch it. I'm still trying to fix it. If we can get it working, we'll have an episode up this week for episodes 1 through 4. And we're going to be doing Terminator, whatever, at some point, too, in the near future. The new Terminator show on Netflix. But we'll wrap up there for today. Our next episode will be Thursday, when we do the finale of WandaVision. And then next week we'll be doing... I had something on the schedule for next week. I don't remember what it was, though, but whatever. I'm tired. We'll wrap up there for today. Until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.